tried to record using the cable.
Okay.
It didn't pick it up, so I'm gonna do the low tech method of putting it in my. The audio. I can review the lessons. Okay. Since I'm recording in the
and secure. A bit reset. Roll full, switches off. Faster on. Safety breakers check. So, which was?
Robin down, Cessna 172, Echo Oscar Kilo. You got me, man? In the southern runway, received Romeo, runway 35 left for an upwind departure to the west. Request taxi. For Cuban H1023, on first contact with ground and tower, notify receipt of Romeo. We're general information, Romeo, runway 35 right for arrivals and departures.
Urban Ground, Sling 8786, request up for circuits.
Sling 8786, ground, start approved.
Start approved, Sling 8786.
Start her up, mate.
Alright.
Helicopter inbound to taxiway Golf in less than 1 minute.
visibility, 4 different scenarios during the takeoff run for an engine failure.
Senior Tango Kilo, behind the sling off to your right, taxi straight ahead to the apron. Taxi straight ahead to the apron. India Tango Kilo. Behind the sling. Behind the sling, India Tango Kilo.
And those 4 scenarios are if you have an engine failure during the takeoff roll before you rotate,
Okay.
then you want to have a plan of action. Or second scenario is if you have an engine failure after you rotate, but you still have sufficient runway in which to land the aeroplane.
Okay.
Third scenario is engine failure after rotation and not enough runway left to land the aeroplane. Your fourth scenario is an engine failure above 700 feet. What we do. So my takeoff safety brief is, so this will be a normal departure off runway 35 right with a takeoff safety speed of 55 knots using 1 stage of flap. And if we suffer an engine failure before 55 knots, what we're going to do is close the throttle, apply the brakes and vacate the runway when possible.
Okay.
If we have an engine failure above 55 knots with sufficient runway remaining, then what we're going to do is close the throttle, land the aircraft straight ahead on the remaining runway, applying flap if necessary.
Alright.
We'll use the brakes, come to a stop and vacate the runway when we can.
Okay.
If we have an engine failure today above 55 knots and we do not have sufficient runway remaining, then what we're going to do is close the throttle and lower the nose of the aeroplane to 72 knots indicated, which is our best glide speed, and we'll trim for that. And we'll choose a suitable place to perform an emergency landing, up to 30 degrees to the left or to the right of the nose. And we'll notify tower of our emergency if we have time available.
Right.
If we have an engine failure today above 700 feet, then what we would do is attempt to turn back to the runway. Given that we're departing from 35 right today, we could potentially make an emergency landing on maybe runway 22.
Right. That is above 700 feet.
Yeah.
Alright.
So if we're on upwind at say 400 feet or 500 feet, we find somewhere straight ahead like a golf course to land on. So as I said, I'll do 1 circuit and I'll hand over on upwind.
Okay.
Just sort of quickly run through all the run-ups and ground stuff to get you in the air as soon as possible, considering the others might want the aeroplane soon.
Yeah.
And then we'll spend a little bit.
Difficult having 1 aircraft for the school.
Yeah, well we usually have 3, but
What happened to the Bristol?
the Bristol
Yeah.
is a write-off. The insurance will pay for a new aeroplane.
Okay.
Rag just messaged me to say that we can have the aeroplane to 12:30 now.
Alright, that's good.
So that's good, we've got an hour and a half. You want to go to Tooradin instead?
Yeah, I want to see how because I have no idea, there's a lot of radio calls there.
Yeah, alright, let's do that. runway. Thought I might be able to get in between him and that guy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's still on the runway.
Foxtrot 8796, cleared to land.
Clear to land, Foxtrot 8796.
How's your radio work going?
Okay, so
Foxtrot Police,
probably Tooradin, I'm not so sure. It's a muffle level Tooradin.
Yeah, but at least nobody's listening to you.
Yeah, that's
The only people who are listening are other pilots. You can make heaps of mistakes and it doesn't matter. You just correct yourself and say it again.
right.
Urban Tower, Sling 8786 is ready, 35 right for the training area.
8786, hold position.
Hold position, Sling 8786. Could have taken the jacket off before it
Yeah,
was
it's a bit warmer today. Getting warmer every day.
Yeah, spring's coming.
Yeah.
At least now we've got plenty of time. We've got just under an hour and a half before we need to be back. So yeah, no rush now. It's good.
Go Oscar X-ray, clear touch and go.
Clear to go, I'm off X-ray.
Give us a line up.
Then another 1 minute?
Only on base.
Sling 8786, line up.
Line up, Sling 8786.
Sling 8786, traffic Cessna head remains in the circuit, cleared for takeoff.
Roger, clear for takeoff, Sling 8786. Airspeed's live, temperatures and pressures in the green. I've had enough fun, you can fly. Your aircraft.
Echo Whiskey Echo, cleared to land.
Clear to land, Echo with the Echo.
A little bit breezy today.
Yeah.
Echo, Oscar Papa, this Alvin, Tachuka.
Oscar Papa, follow Cherokee, on base.
Echo, Oscar Papa. Robin Tower, Warrior Hotel, Oscar India, ready on the way, 35 right for departure to the east.
Very slight drift to the left at the moment.
Hold position, Hotel Oscar India.
That strange wind we've been getting the last 24 hours. Yeah, that guy is remaining in the circuit. You can start a gentle crosswind turn to follow him. Continue climbing because we're doing a departure.
Alright.
Yeah, just come back this way a little bit. Want to make sure I can still see this guy under the nose. He's making his turn on the downwind now.
Oscar X-ray, turning downwind, pass and go.
Oscar X-ray, follow Cessna, turning right.
Oscar X-ray.
Let me just hit a speed bump. Yeah, you can continue a turn towards the training area now, sort of a gradual right-hand turn. And we'll level off at 2,000 feet.
Okay.
Fully make sure Foxtrot, clear touch and go.
Do you know how to tell or how to recognise when you're leaving the 3 mile boundary of Moorabbin?
Is it the GMH and Karam?
GMH and Karam are approximately 6 miles.
Right.
What have you got on the 3 mile boundary that you can use?
The golf course?
Yeah, there are a couple of golf courses on 3 miles. That one down there, for example. You've also got Sandown Racecourse there at 3 miles.
Yeah.
You've got Parkmore Shopping Centre, which is currently under the nose over there. There's Parkmore down there.
Traffic ahead remains in the circuit, cleared for takeoff.
Clear to
the right direction?
hold position.
Sorry?
This is the right direction to Tooradin?
Yeah, well, the easiest thing to do is just fly southeast to begin with. So you've got east is there, south is there.
Down here?
Just fly southeast.
Okay.
Echo Oscar Park, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go, Echo Oscar.
That's Parkmore just there.
Alright, I was there a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Not a very good shopping centre.
It seems so near here.
Yeah.
It took like an eternity on the bus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And if you want a good shopping centre, go to Chadston.
That's what is that?
It's up Warrigal Road. It's probably about a 15-minute drive from Moorabbin Airport.
Right. I've only been to like Westfield South. So it's nearest to my house.
Yeah, Southland's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. Pretty big.
Yeah, Chadston is very similar. It's a little bit bigger.
Cheston. Cheston?
Chadstone.
Chadstone, right.
Chad Stone. Alright, so we've probably just crossed the 3 mile boundary. Let's confirm. Yeah, we're outside 3 miles now. So, change over to Melbourne Centre. Yeah, even though the transponder's not actually working at the moment because we don't have our altimeter, we'll change it anyway, just a good habit. Now, the best tracking point en route to Tooradin is Cranbourne Racecourse.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Cranbourne Racecourse?
No. Like a race car.
Keep going southeast.
Okay.
So maybe 10 degrees to the right.
Okay. And we'll put the Tooradin CTAF frequency on standby. You know what it is? 124 decimal
2.
Right.
And you can even listen to it ahead of time. You just push monitor.
I got it through here.
So the active one will always override the standby one.
Right.
So if you're getting people talking on both frequencies at the same time, you'll only hear this one. Now the guy who just made a call at Tooradin said he's using runway 04 at the moment.
Okay.
Now you're pretty much flying almost exactly towards Cranbourne Racecourse. It's just a tiny little bit to the right of the nose at the moment. It's easier to see when you're a little bit higher in the sky.
Yeah.
But can you see anything yet that looks like a race course?
Is it a brown patch?
Yeah, it's an oval-shaped racetrack pattern just on the nose of the aeroplane. There's a golf course next to that with a whole bunch of dark-coloured trees.
Yeah.
That golf course is actually exactly 10 miles from Tooradin.
Okay.
So when we get to 10 miles from Tooradin, what we're going to say is Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, 10 miles to the northwest. If we're flying southeast, then we must be northwest of the aerodrome. So 10 miles northwest at whatever altitude we happen to be at. And then our intentions are inbound. And we also provide an estimated time of arrival.
Okay.
So we're currently doing a ground speed of 107 knots here. So I would say that between the 10 mile point and Tooradin would take us about maybe 8 minutes.
8 minutes, alright.
Yeah. So and we express that time in a 2-digit group. So 8 minutes from now would be 2-3. So we say ETA time 2-3.
Why do you say 2-3?
So 2-3 meaning 23 minutes past the current hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you like, I'll do the inbound call for you as a demonstration.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to do one circuit when we get there anyway.
Okay.
We'll turn that off so that we can listen to the guys in Tooradin. I have control for a sec. So you see this golf course here? Hey, that's 10 miles.
is at what altitude?
Well, if you doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
2000, we'll just use 2000. So I'll give them a call.
Okay.
And we'll say, yeah, maybe time 2-3, I reckon. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786 is 10 miles to the northwest at 2100. Inbound estimate circuit time 2-3, Tooradin.
So basically nobody will reply you.
Probably not. Sometimes they do. There's currently 2 aeroplanes in the circuit at Tooradin.
Okay.
One of them is a Foxbat. I missed their call sign. The other one is Texan 4522. It's Foxbat 7330, so that's the red one.
How do you catch that?
I've been doing this a while.
How do you catch that? You gotta handle all the different accents of those.
Yeah, it's a challenge. So there's 2 light aircraft. There's one red Foxbat doing circuits, and there's also a small Texan 4522, which is quite similar to this aeroplane.
Right.
Both doing circuits on runway 04 at the moment.
Right.
So after you make your inbound call at 10 miles, the next thing to do is to find the town of Warneet.
Yeah.
Have you seen Warneet on the map before, on the VTC?
Yeah, I've seen on the map.
So you see the long skinny inlet there?
Yeah.
Where the water comes in?
Yeah.
That's where you'll find Warneet.
Okay.
And then there's another inlet over there which is kind of shaped like a horseshoe.
Yeah.
That's the town of Blind Bight. So what I do is I basically just go straight between the 2 towns.
Alright.
Tooradin itself is actually located in about your 1030 position, I would say.
Okay.
This highway over here is the South Gippsland Highway, and there's a town, what looks like a town at the end of the highway over there, and that's the town of Tooradin.
Okay.
Yeah, the airfield is about another 2 miles past the town.
Alright.
Foxbat 7330 is going around.
Yeah. 2330.
7330.
7330.
Yeah, and the other one's Texan 4522.
45.
That's Ian Loveridge. It is a little bit lumpy today.
Yeah, that's good.
So this inlet that's got all the boats in it, and you see there's a tiny little town on the edge of the water.
Yeah, it's Warneet.
Yeah, that's Warneet, and so are all these houses on this side of the water as well.
Okay.
And then that little town over there is the town of Blind Bight.
Right.
So the reason we use it is it's approximately 5 miles to the west of the airfield.
Okay.
The airfield's down there, just on the right on the edge of the water.
Traffic, Texan 4522, turning downwind at runway 04, Tooradin.
Now, because they're using runway 04, so they're landing in that direction, what we're going to do is we're going to stay at 1,500 feet
Okay.
and fly over the top of the runway, and then we'll descend to circuit side on the upwind leg.
Alright.
It's freaking lumpy as hell out here today. Now, most of the time, because we get southwesterly winds, 2-2 is active more often than 04.
Okay.
So today you've just got an anomaly.
So who decides the active runway?
The wind direction.
So when do you decide to change it if it changes?
So the choice of runway is up to the pilots.
Okay.
But the pilot will always choose the runway that's most appropriately into the wind.
Okay.
If the wind is 90 degrees to the runway, you can choose.
Alright.
2,500 feet over French Island and tracking to tie up Tooradin traffic.
Okay, he's going that way. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, approximately 4.5 miles to the west of the field, 1,500. Intending to overfly the field for an upwind join runway 04, estimate circuit time 23 Tooradin.
So here is 4.5.
Sorry?
Over here is 4.5 miles away.
Yeah, a few seconds ago we were 4 miles.
Oh, you can see.
Alright, so Texan 4522 is over there. He's turning base. I can't actually see him yet, but I know where he is. that he's turning final. The runway is just down there.
Oh, okay, fancy.
And then Foxbat is over there, turning base. Unfortunately, because of the wind direction today, it's a right-hand circuit pattern, which is not ideal for you because you're sitting on the left-hand side of the aeroplane.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
Okay, so Texan's turning final, and so the Foxbat's there. Can you see him?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So what we might do in order to assist with the flow of traffic is descend onto a mid-downwind from overhead the field.
Okay.
Because otherwise we're going to be at the same point on upwind as he is.
Right. Oh, it's pretty small airplane.
Yeah, nothing like Moorabbin.
Yeah.
Certain traffic, Wingspan 30, turning final runway 04, number 2 Tooradin, let's go.
Make another call. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786 is overhead the field 1500 and we'll be descending to join a mid-downwind leg for 04, touch and go through. So you should be able to see the Texan down there
Yeah,
now.
thanks. Yeah,
Is he on upwind?
it's on our way.
Okay. No other traffic on downwind, we're all good. Clear right, centre, left. I mean left, centre, right, you know what I mean.
How do you know how to gauge where you will be in a second?
Good question, let's talk about that later.
Yeah. Because it's like water. Just see.
Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786 is mid-downwind, runway 04 for touch and go. Tooradin. A little bit wide actually, so I'll pull it in a bit. Alright, pre-landing check, so park brake off, brake is working. Cool. There's a improve the brakes. Undercarriage on this aircraft is down and locked, oil temperatures and pressures acceptable, fuel pump on, hatches harness is secure, fuel tank's okay. Alright. 1,000 feet. I'm slightly wide here, but that's because we had to descend from overhead the field.
Okay.
The Foxbat's on upwind now. So before I turn onto base, I'm going to reduce my power setting.
Traffic, Texan 4522, turning downwind, runway 04, Tooradin.
Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, turning base, runway 04. Touch and go, number 1 Tooradin. The Texans behind us turn downwind. Here's our flap speed. I'm going to take my 2 stages now. And my base attitude should be about 3 fingers on top of the compass to the horizon. Power set to 3,300, which should help us achieve an airspeed of around 70 to 75 knots. If we're doing this correctly, we should be ready to turn final at about 700 to 650 feet. Clear left, centre and right. Gentle descending turn onto final. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, turning final, runway 04, touch and go through. And the Texan will be over here somewhere. Oh, paying attention. Alright, so using the rudders to control our direction. 500. Using the power to control the airspeed.
Upwind departure runway 04, 1,500, on climb 2,500 from Moorabbin. Sorry, that's...
Alright, So they're departing, it's just us and the Texan now. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a crosswind from the left. You see the windsocks there, it's coming from that direction.
Texan 4522, turning base, runway 04, Tooradin.
Power to control airspeed, elevator to control the attitude, and it's just a constant cycle, aim point, aspect and airspeed. I want to try and land the airplane 2 centerline markings into the runway after the piano keys. Probably going to need a little bit of right rudder and left aileron because there's a left crosswind. Bringing my throttle back to idle, gently bringing the nose level with the far end of the runway, right rudder, left aileron. Nose wheel down, flaps 1, full power, right rudder. You'll see the quality of the runway surface here is not very good.
Yeah.
But that's okay, it makes for a skilled pilot. Yeah, do you want me to fly one complete circuit or are you happy to fly?
Well, we fly one complete circuit first?
Sure.
Yeah.
So passing 200 feet, flaps up. So on upwind, I'm looking for a best rate of climb of 74 knots. Nobody's perfect. Coming up on 500 feet, I'll turn my fuel pump off. The Foxbat.
Texan 4522, turning final, runway 04.
Clear left, centre, right. Just a gentle climbing turn to the right. Maximum 15 degrees angle of bank with your turn under crosswind. Because you'll find that the wind does half the work for you here. Now when possible, we'll just have a quick look back over our right shoulder at the runway to assess whether or not we're actually tracking 90 degrees to the runway. That looks good there. Now, at about 960 feet, I'm going to start to level my nose for 1000. Attitude first, speed increasing, reduce power, forward trim. There's 1000 feet. Before I turn on to downwind, checking traffic left, centre and right. Medium level turn now, trying to stay at 1000 feet. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, turning downwind, runway 04, touch and go to it. So there's our runway.
Yeah, the Foxbat just landed. And the Texan just landed.
Yep. Aiming to track parallel with my runway. Keeping in mind that at the moment the wind is coming from over our left shoulder at the moment, so if we're not careful it will actually blow us towards the runway.
Right.
Once established on downwind, we're happy with our distance to the runway, happy with our altitude and our power settings okay. We'll do a pre-landing check. So park brake is off and the brake is working. Oil T's and P's are okay. Undercarriage for this aircraft is down and locked. Master on, magnetos on, fuel pump on, hatches and harnesses all secure. Alright, looking back at the runway, making sure we don't spend too much time looking at the runway in case there's any traffic out here.
Okay.
Now we want to be approximately 45 degrees over the right shoulder to the start of the runway. And when we make the turn onto base, we're going to reduce the power first. This is a point of debate amongst pilots.
Okay.
But I find the easiest way to get your flap speed is when you look at it and you go, okay, that's the right time to turn. We're going to reduce our power, bring it back to about 4,000 or so. Check for traffic left, centre, right, and just make a medium level turn, maintaining 1,000 feet. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, turning base runway 04, touch and go through. Now there's my flap speed, so I can take my 2 stages, put in some back trim, and now set the power and attitude for a base leg, which is around 3,300. 3 fingers on top of the compass for an airspeed of 70 to 75 knots. And a rate of descent not more than 500 feet per minute. If we're doing this correctly, then we should be ready to commence our turn onto final at about 700 to 650 feet. Texans over there turning downwind. No traffic approaching from the left.
Tooradin traffic, Texan 4522, turning downwind.
Clear left,
runway
centre and
04,
right.
Tooradin.
The gentle descending turn onto final now. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, turning final, runway 04, touch and go Tooradin. So on final, your three main variables are using the power to control the airspeed, the elevator to control the attitude, with the piano keys of the runway about level with the top of the compass, and the rudders for your directional control. Want minimal aileron movement. If you start using a lot of aileron, it makes it hard to fly final.
Right.
So more rudder, less aileron. Yeah, it kind of looks like the crosswind is becoming less than it was before, which is good. Aim point, aspect, and airspeed. Aiming to be about 65 feet at the piano keys. Sorry, 65 knots, not feet. Closing the throttle back to idle. I'm going to commence my round out and fly straight and level. And then bring the nose up level with the end of the runway, and I'm going to hold it there as long as I can. Oh, that was pretty good actually. Full power, a little bit of right rudder. 55 knots, up we go. You ready to do some flying?
Yeah.
Your aircraft. So just to begin with, I'll do the radio calls for it. You can just concentrate on flying the aeroplane.
Alright. Little bump off.
Left, center, right.
A nice gentle climbing turn here with a little bit of right rudder. Not much, indicating a tiny little bit of right rudder is needed there. Good. And when you can, just quick look back at the runway and go, yep, we're starting to track 90 degrees, that's good. And you want to commence your levelling off at just before 1,000 feet, about 960. Attitude, speed increasing, power back, forward trim. Cool. Probably should be a little bit that way. Clear left, centre right. Let's make a medium level turn. True traffic, Sling 8786, turning downwind, runway 04, touch and go to route. So 30 degrees angle of bank here to tighten up the turn a little bit. The power setting's probably just a little bit too high for a downwind leg. We're back to about 4,800.
Okay.
And you want to try and line up approximately the wingtip with the centre of the runway. This distance is good at the moment. I'm liking it. And once you're happy with this, and that, we'll do a pre-landing check.
Okay, pre-landing check. Put brakes off. Brakes on. All temperature and pressure good. Undercarriage down. Full pump on. Master on. Harness and hitches secured. Alright.
Cool. We're starting to drift slightly to the left. I would say sort of those refineries on that coastline over there would be a fairly good reference point.
Almost 45.
Yep.
Okay. Left, center, right.
Bring your power back a bit before you turn. Medium level turn onto base. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, turning base runway 04, touch and go through. So keep your nose up during that turn because we're trying to keep the aeroplane at 1,000 feet. And that will also help you get the flap speed there.
Nice. 2 flaps now.
Tooradin traffic, takes 4522, clear of all runway to Tooradin.
attitude will equal performance. This is looking pretty good. We were probably slightly too far away from the runway on late downwind, but otherwise this is alright.
Okay. Left center,
Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, turning final, runway 04, touch and go through. 500. All she ever says. Oh, and terrain. Terrain.
Yeah.
Alright, so power for controlling airspeed, elevator for controlling attitude, and rudders for directional control. Rely more on your rudders to keep the aeroplane travelling in a straight line than your ailerons. Probably the biggest mistake in the early stages of flying is not using enough rudder.
Yeah. I tend to use the aileron.
Yeah. Aim point, aspect, airspeed. It's just a constant juggling system. A little bit of right rudder. And start gradually bleeding that power back to the idle position. Let's gently round out, bring the nose level with the end of the runway. A little bit more back pressure now.
Ooh.
There's a little bit firm, right rudder.
Yep, son.
Bit more right rudder. Then as you see 55, pull back on the stick and rotate. Yeah, don't forget after you rotate, the aircraft will pitch up because of all the back trim. Right. So you got to push forward and trim forward. Now, after you complete the landing, you've got all three wheels on the ground. The first priority should be making sure the aircraft continues travelling in a straight line.
Right.
So, rudders, and worry about your flap and your power afterwards.
Okay. Let's just look at the heading bugger.
Yeah, we want approximately 040. If anything, maybe a little bit more.
Right.
Maybe 045 today because the wind's coming from over there. Now when you reach top of climb, you want to do your ASPT fairly quickly.
Okay.
Attitude, power back, trim, check for traffic, make your turn. If you do it too slowly, then
you
end
down
up,
you too far.
yeah, flying too far away. Don't worry about the exact number, just bring the power back. multitasking, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot done in 5 minutes.
Yep.
The first time I flew Suzuki, I was like, whoa, it's too much.
Yeah. You get used to it.
Yeah.
Alright, this is looking good. We're at 650 feet now, and it's about the right time. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, turning final, runway 04, touch and go, Tooradin.
It's only too early.
A little bit less power. Yeah, that wind's fluctuating a little bit today. Aim point, aspect, and airspeed.
Full flaps.
More right rudder. Tiny bit of power, just a little bit. A little bit more to the right. And avoid the temptation to raise the nose early.
Yeah.
We're back to 62 knots now. Nose should be down a little bit more. Alright, let's bring the throttle gently back to idle. And commence a round out. Right rudder. Alright. Right rudder. Back on the centre line. Make sure we're travelling in a straight line.
One.
Full power. Right rudder. More right rudder. As soon as you see 55, rotate. Yeah, we still need more right rudder there because it's starting to pull to the left. Then we'll have to keep a lookout for this guy who's inbound from the southeast. He's coming from that direction.
400 flaps up. Right. Left, center, right.
Uh, 5348, this is Sling 8786. What's your present position?
5348, I'm about probably 5 miles to the southeast. Still on Tooradin.
Roger, thanks for that.
Off at 1,000.
Alright, let's go.
Right.
Get out of your way. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786, turning downwind, runway 04, touch and go, Tooradin.
Okay.
Within a minute or two, we'll hear that guy say that he's joining downwind. Airspeed's a little bit high, so just nudge the power back a little bit.
Tooradin traffic, 0 Fox 5348, joining downwind for 04, Tooradin.
Just a tiny bit more power now, not much, just enough to maintain this airspeed. There's
Canadian traffic, Cessna down to Echo Uniform Hotel, 5 nautical miles east, transmitter 4,000 feet to 2,500 feet, Tooradin, Canadian traffic.
gently ease that throttle back, all the way back to idle. Alright, going to round out and just try to fly parallel with the runway. Now if you feel the airplane sink, add more back pressure and hold the nose level with the far end of the runway. Keep it travelling in a straight line with using your rudders. Flaps 1. Full power, right rudder. As soon as you see 55, rotate. And don't forget it's going to pitch up more than you want it to. So just set your climb attitude and then retrim when you have time.
So you gotta reset the trim while landing?
After takeoff. So
Echo Uniform now 5 nautical miles to the northwest, revising our intentions will be joining upwind at 1,500 feet for runway 04, Tooradin.
Is he here?
he's a few miles away. He's going to be doing an upwind join. Yeah, we've probably got time for one more touch and go, and then we'll have to depart back from Moorabbin.
Alright.
turning downwind, runway 04 for one more circuit and a departure on the following one. Through.
Okay. Gonna be tuning?
No, this is good. This is good. During your pre-landing check now, let's change the fuel tanks over. Eventually you'll reach a stage where you'll know what the power setting is just by the sound of the engine.
Yeah. Bit too high.
A little bit, but it's fixable. No, start your turn. Yeah, the problem we have at the moment is that we're actually above flap speed, so we've got to raise the nose, because otherwise we risk causing damage to the flap hinges. I'll show you how to fix it if you're too high. I'll just over for a sec. So let's say at this point we recognise that we're way too high. Tooradin traffic, Sling 8786 on final runway 04, touch and go Tooradin. So what we can do is throttle back, take 3 stages of flap. We'll do a side slip. Do you know what a side slip is?
Opposite aileron and rudder.
Yeah, the wind's coming from our left, so we'll go left aileron and right rudder.
Tooradin traffic, Golf uniform, turning downwind runway 04, Tooradin.
And you see we increase our sink rate quite significantly. But our airspeed's still acceptable for the flap, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a very efficient way of losing unwanted altitude without flying dangerously fast. We'll relax those inputs now and round out for the landing. Bring the nose up level with the end of the runway now. Hold it there. And now gently lower the nose wheel. Okay, flaps 1, you have control. Remember to increase your right rudder as you increase the power. Now I don't recommend doing the side slip until you're a little bit more familiar with the aeroplane.
Yeah.
But it's very effective. We'll depart on the downwind leg on this one, so no need to level off at 1,000.
Okay.
Not too much angular bank in the crosswind turn. Very, very gentle turn. Not even go wings level there, but continue climbing. Otherwise we'll be cutting the corner early onto downwind. Alright, so you can do a climbing turn onto downwind now. 04, passing 1,500 on climb to 2,500, tracking for Rabbit, Tooradin.
Tooradin traffic echo, uniform for final runway 04, touching go to it.
So we'll just maintain this track parallel with the runway for now.
Right.
Now when you're in a prolonged climb for a period of time, just every 500 feet, just dip the nose a little bit and check for traffic ahead. And then if it's clear, continue climbing. It was good, mate. It's a little bit of a environmentally challenging here this morning with the wind and the lumpy air, but
Yeah, on the last final oil was too high. You didn't reduce the power too late?
but during the turn on to base you actually climbed a little bit, and maybe had a little bit too much power as well.
Tooradin traffic echo, uniform going around 04,
So when ready you can take up a track that will take us towards, we'll go, which are you more familiar with, Karam or GMH?
Karam.
Let's go GMH then.
Yeah, that's good.
And we'll do a fast cruise on the way to GMH, so we'll put the power up to about 5,400 and a little bit of forward trim to prevent the airplane from climbing. Bit of a headwind on the way back. A little bit less power.
tractor definitely for now. Switch my watch, maintain 4,000 turn and land steady 010. 010, tractor definitely for a signature hold on available. Switch my watch, 2 and setting 010 to confirm you.
Turn that off for a sec. How would you find GMH from our current location, do you think?
I gotta see the black factory.
Yeah, but you won't see that until you get fairly close to it.
Yeah.
So from here, the easiest thing to do is fly towards where all of the factories are. So if you see in about your 1 o'clock position, there's lots and lots of light coloured buildings. Just start heading that direction. So when you're flying towards all of the factories in the Dandenong area, you should notice that the city buildings are slightly to the left of that.
Okay.
And then when we're within about 5 miles, we should be able to identify the position of GMH.
The GMA is pretty near Dandenong.
Yeah, it's pretty much in sort of Dumpton area actually. Are you familiar with how to operate the direct to function on here?
No.
Alright, I'll show you how. I mean, it's cheating a little bit, but by the time you go area solo, you should at least know how to operate it so that if you get lost, you can use it.
Yeah.
So down the bottom of the screen, you've got that letter D with the arrow through it. Yep, push that. Tap select waypoint. Type in GMH. Hit enter, and hit activate. There we go. Split. There it is there. So you see it's our tractor GMH is just a tiny little bit to the right, but this heading will actually work quite well because of the wind drift. Yeah, warning, it's just underneath the left wing over there.
Okay, it's warning.
And this is telling us that our estimated time to GMH is 9.5 minutes at 12.6 miles from GMH. That's a very lazy way to fly,
It helps a lot.
but yeah, you should know how to use it. So by the time you go training area solo, if you do become disoriented out here, at least you can go to that, type in YTDN for Tooradin Airport,
Yeah.
go straight to Tooradin.
It helps.
Now that you know how to use it, close to the factor is, you'll notice that there's like a sort of V shape where the bottom of the V points that direction.
Alright.
And if you follow the right hand edge of the V, it'll take you to GMH. I'll get rid of Tooradin now, I think. So, what things do we need to do before we arrive at GMH?
Change to Melbourne Tower.
Yep. Will we need any other frequencies before Moorabbin Tower?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You got sunglasses?
Yeah, didn't bring it.
023, on first contact with ground on tower, notify receipt of Romeo. Moorabbin tower information, Romeo, runway 35 right for a right.
Still Romeo?
East, tower frequency 118.1. Runway 35 left for arrival and departures west, tower frequency 123.
Somebody left these behind.
Wind 350 degrees.
motor's Holden.
Alright.
It was a big car factory. So let's alter our heading slightly to the right. Basically, if you follow that freeway that goes north, that's the best way to identify GMH. And it's got a dark coloured roof surrounded by buildings with light coloured roofs. And the roof is shaped like a sawtooth edge. A little bit more power. Nose down a little bit. likely tell you to follow somebody,
Okay.
and you can just respond with your call sign if you understand the instruction.
Okay. Do we have?
Yeah.
Sling 8786 and Powerplant.
8786 on Foxbed, 12 o'clock, light downwind.
Sling 8786. Foxbed and downwind.
Beautiful, Echo, clear to land.
Stuff there. She maintain 1,000 feet. He's just left of the nose. He's about to turn on the base leg. A bit more power, and let's get back up to 1,000 feet. Bit of power. Carry on.
Picture 8639, you got the fastest there, do they? 8639.
So that's our...
Yes.
They're following that guy?
Yep. So we're landing on runway 35,
Right.
which if you have a look at your compass here, goes that direction. Alright, let's do a pre-landing check.
Okay. Wings. Wings off. Good pressure. Negation down, pull pump on. Engines and transits secure. Master arms. Okay.
So you got your traffic in sight?
Yeah, rolling slow.
Now we'll try to fly a base leg on the southern end of Woodlands Golf Course over there.
Okay.
We're not going to go as wide as the Foxbed is because we're professional pilots.
Alright.
We're going to start to reduce our power a little bit. Just maintain 1,000 feet for now.
Picture 9639, clear to land.
Close up a little bit. And keep reducing your power because we want to set up a base leg descent. Skip to the right slightly. Keep reducing your power, and then once you've got your flap speed, take your 2 stages.
Alright. Okay, decision. Left up.
So we're back trim for the flap.
Foxbed 8632, early downwind, full stop, hardline approach.
Now 3,300.
Follow the Sling, no light base. Traffic side and Foxbed 8632.
Now that wind is going to try to make you go that way, so point the nose into the wind a little bit.
Okay.
And we're landing on 35 right. The Foxbed is now on short final.
Alright. Left center right.
Foxbed 8794, clear touch and go. Clear touch and go, Foxbed 8794.
And just lower the nose a little bit. That's better. So use your rudders here for your directional control. These rudders are very, very useful. Look how responsive this aeroplane is to rudder input. That's just rudder.
Yeah.
All rudder.
Very good.
Right, left. I'm not even using any ailerons. So very, very useful to help you line up with that center line. You have control?
Turning base. Sling 8786, clear to land.
Clear land, Sling 8786.
Want a big tower?
That's not 30 kilocalories. Radio 40 alpha, runway 35 right. Turn to hold position.
Hold position, here we go. landing light off. And radio frequency is set.
Right.
So, do you know your taxi call?
Yeah, urban ground Sling 76 at Alpha 4, runway 35 left. Request taxi to apron.
Yeah, just say on Alpha 4, request taxi to the
Okay.
apron.
Urban ground Sling 76 at Alpha 4, request taxi to the apron. Cross runway 35 left to the apron, Sling 76. Alright.
8639 on Bravo, cross runway 35 left to the apron. Cross runway 35 left 8639.
Warm day.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have ditched the jacket before. So even though you've got permission to cross the runway, always make sure you have a good look. Make sure some idiot's not on approach.
Okay.
Straight ahead, follow the yellow line.
Urban ground, Foxtrot 8632 on Bravo, request taxi to airport.
Alright, I have control.
No control.
Thanks for
8632 on Bravo, cross runway 35 left to the apron. On Bravo, cross runway 35 left to the airport, Foxtrot 8632.
That's good.
And when you're ready, you can shut down.
Master off or full off? Yeah.
Turn everything on.
Yeah,
Just turn everything on.
yeah, it's